He sat at the corner of a dimly lit restaurant, nervously rubbing the edge of his wallet. Inside was a single $50 bill, his entire budget for the night. His hands were rough, cracked from long hours at the construction site, and his shirt, though clean, was slightly faded from too many washes. Daniel, a single dad of one, had spent weeks saving for this one evening, a blind date. Not because he believed he'd find love easily, but because, deep down, he wanted to feel human again, wanted to believe that maybe someone could look past his struggles and see his heart. Across the table sat Melissa, a woman who looked every bit the city professional, neat blazer, polished nails, and a phone that never seemed to stop buzzing. She smiled politely but checked the time often. Daniel noticed. Every second she looked away, his heart sank a little further. He tried to make small jokes, talk about his son, Eli, or how they'd spent the last weekend building a cardboard spaceship in their living room. Melissa nodded, distracted, her eyes occasionally drifting to her phone screen. At a nearby table, a man in a dark suit quietly observed. Jonathan Hale, a Millionaire CEO, was having dinner alone after a long day at his company. He'd built everything, money, power, prestige, but lately, he'd been haunted by a kind of emptiness that even his wealth couldn't fill. As he sipped his wine, he couldn't help noticing Daniel, the nervous smile, the worn hands, the clear effort to make a good impression despite everything. Jonathan saw something in him he hadn't seen in a long time, realness. Melissa finally sighed and said, "You're a good guy, Daniel. But I think we're from different worlds." He smiled softly, hiding the sting. "Yeah, maybe," he said. "But thanks for coming." When she stood and left, Daniel stayed behind, staring at the check. It came to $47.60. He looked at his wallet, $50, exactly. He'd have to skip the tip. But pride made him pull out his last few coins. He wanted to leave something, even if it was just a gesture. Jonathan called the waiter over quietly. "Put his bill on my tab," he said. The waiter nodded. When Daniel tried to pay, the server smiled. "Sir, it's already taken care of." Daniel frowned. "What? No, that can't be right." "Who?" The waiter only gestured to the corner table, where Jonathan gave a polite nod before returning to his meal. Daniel hesitated, walked over, and said quietly, "You didn't have to do that." Jonathan smiled. "I know. But I wanted to." Daniel sat, unsure what to say. Jonathan continued, "I've been watching you for a while, don't worry, not in a creepy way," he chuckled softly. You reminded me of someone I used to be. Someone who tried hard, even when life didn't give much back." Daniel looked down. "It's just been tough. My wife passed 3 years ago. It's just me and my boy now. I work, save, and try to give him something better. But nights like this, they remind me how far behind I am." Jonathan's gaze softened. "You're not behind. You're building something most people never have, the kind of love money can't buy." There was a silence that spoke more than words. Jonathan reached into his pocket and handed Daniel a business card. "Come by my office tomorrow. I might have something for you." Daniel hesitated. "Sir, I'm not looking for charity." Jonathan smiled. "Good. Because I don't give charity. I give chances." The next morning, Daniel stood outside Hale Industries, a place that seemed more like a dream than reality. Jonathan met him in the lobby, dressed sharp as ever. "I've got a small construction project at one of our new sites," he said. "I could use someone who actually knows what it's like to work hard. Pays fair, hours are steady." That small project turned into something much bigger. Within months, Daniel proved himself, dedicated, honest, and skilled. Jonathan noticed how other workers respected him, how he treated everyone equally, from janitor to engineer. When an opportunity came up to lead a crew, Jonathan didn't hesitate. Think you can handle a team? He asked. Daniel smiled. I've been handling one at home for years. Years passed. Daniel not only built a career but a new sense of purpose. His son Eli grew up watching a father who never gave up, who went from barely surviving to truly living. One evening, they stood in front of a nearly completed housing project Daniel had helped design, affordable homes for single parents. Jonathan stood beside him, proud. You know, Jonathan said quietly, the night I met you, I thought I was helping you. Turns out, you reminded me what it means to have heart. Daniel smiled, looking at the setting sun. And you reminded me that good people still exist. The camera pans out slowly, showing the neighborhood alive with families and laughter. Then Daniel's voice echoes softly, filled with gratitude. Sometimes, it only takes one act of kindness to change everything. If you believe that too, like this video and subscribe. Because the world needs more stories that remind us, hope is still out there. And as the screen fades to black, one simple message appears. Be the reason someone believes in second chances.